All right, and welcome back to my kitchen, my messy kitchen. Okay, so today what I am going to do is prepare some ribs. These are pork ribs, and you can also use beef ribs if you want. They'll be a little bit larger, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make just some oven roasted ribs. And I actually seasoned these 2 days ago, kept them in a cool place, and I'm getting ready to put them in the oven. I just used a dry rub, and I made the dry rub myself, just some things that I had in my kitchen, nothing special. I used a little bit of Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, Kinder's Fajita Blend. I used some Spanglish Acero Carne Asada. I used a pack of Sazon, and I used a half a pack of this fajita seasoning mix with a little salt and pepper in that. Put it together, made a dry rub, and here it is. I've let them set again for about 2 days. I really want them to be really flavorful. I do have my baking pan, my deep baking pan that I use for like my turkeys and stuff. I did line it with some tin foil. And I am going to pour just a little bit of water in the corners so that way it keeps these moist, even though I am going to cover it with aluminum. And since they have been sitting in a dry rub for a couple days, I do want to make sure that they are moist and they don't dry out when they're cooking. I have my oven set at 275, and I'm going to let them cook for at least 3 hours covered. I'm going to check them, see how they are, and then if they are done to my liking, where they are very tender, then I will take off the aluminum foil, and then I'll let them cook for probably about another half an hour just to get a nice golden look to them. And am I the only one? Every time I use my stove, I have to take my pots out of my stove, and I have to take my pans from under my stove. I always do that. But so I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in the stove. It's going on 10, 11, 12, 1. So about 1 o'clock, I'll check them, and we'll see how they look. If they're done enough, then I will go ahead and uncover them and let them cook. So, oh, and I'm actually getting ready to make some other recipes. We went to our local person who does bakery, and she made some, I want to say telera bread. This is bread for tortas. And I've been making tortas for the last couple days, you know, steak tortas, tortas milanesa, breakfast tortas. And I have some bread left over, and it's still good and fresh, but I broke some up because I want to make a recipe with some stale dry bread. And I have some tortillas over here that I'm going to use for chilaquiles later. But right now we're focusing on this recipe. So this is just a easy, simple, put it in the oven, leave it. The only thing that does take some time is me seasoning it for 2 days. If you don't want to season it for 2 days, at least give it an hour or two. And like I said, you don't have to use anything special. This is just stuff that I had laying around my kitchen and made it into a dry rub. All right, I'm going to get these in the oven and I'll be back. All right, we are putting this on the bottom rack. It's going to go low and slow at 275. And I forgot to mention, my ribs are bone side down, meat side up. Whenever they're done cooking with the foil over them, then I will flip them over and let them continue to cook a little bit more without the foil. Okay, so it is a little past 1. I just took the ribs out. While I took the ribs out, I was looking to see what other things I was going to serve with the ribs. So today's kind of a lazy day. I'm just going to make instant mashed potatoes, not real ones today. And I'm just gonna make some more cheddar broccoli pasta side and some green beans. So still gonna be a good meal, but I don't want the sides to take away from the main dish. So we're gonna open it up here and see how it looks. Ooh, wow. That just smells so good. I do have two larger, let me get a fork so I can do the fork test. I do have, again, two larger ribs in there. Yep. And they might actually take a little bit longer. Yeah, it's not pulling away as much as it should, because these aren't smaller, but they are super moist. And what I'm gonna, like, yeah, down there where there's more water, they are pulling away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip them over and I'm gonna change the top side to the bottom. So let me get my handy dandy, you know what, I'm gonna have to get my other, these ones here have serrades at the end, so it helps hold on to the meat, so that way it doesn't, the other ones are kind of flat, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to lose so, yeah, splattering all over the place. And then I'm going to pick up this one here, and I'm going to move that one to the bottom and this one to the top. And again, they are very juicy. I did put a little bit of water, but the ribs did release some juice and some grease. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in covered again, and I'm going to check on them in about another hour or so and see how they are. Again, I do want the connective tissue to get to where the bone is going to come out. And it's getting close, but just not there yet. And again, I still have my oven at 275, low and slow. And while this is still cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my sides. Back in a little bit. Okay, so an update. The ribs ended up taking about 5 hours of cooking completely. They are super, super soft and juicy. You can tell they are just pulling apart. Very, very good. One whole rack of ribs is almost gone. Everybody was eating. I did make the pasta, mashed potatoes, and green beans, and then we had some butter bread to go with it. My husband got out the barbecue sauce, and the kids just got done eating, and some of them actually have plates for in a little bit. But I wanted to go ahead and make a ending of this video. Again, when you're cooking, especially when you don't have a whole lot of time, you can make something that is delicious and wonderful, and also make other things that are a bit easier. My dogs are wanting ribs, but no ribs for you. But you can also make sides that are easy and, you know, that don't take a long time to make. Like I said, instant mashed potatoes. Hey, they work. Some instant cheddar broccoli pasta and just some green beans, and it makes a meal. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But this is, again, a really good way to make, and these were the big giant 2-pack of ribs from Sam's Club. So you can see definitely that they are juicy and wonderful. I would turn on my stove light, but with me cooking for so long, I had my exhaust fan on. My microwave convection oven over here overheated and powered off. So I don't know if I lost it or if it'll come back to life after it cools down. But all right, so again, making ribs. If you're like me and not too fond of the barbecue sauce, you can make a rub, put them on it, and then if anybody wants barbecue sauce, you can put it on the side, or you can also put it in a skillet and cook the ribs in a skillet with some barbecue sauce. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And again, hopefully, you know, the recipe is gonna help somebody out, you know, especially when somebody who's in a pinch, who just wants to put together a good meal. All right, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.